There comes a moment in every man's life when he realizes that connection is not built on the loudest voice, the toughest exterior, or the perfect line. It's built on something far more elemental, the ability to speak from a place of truth. And when a man learns to express that truth with clarity, intention, and emotional presence, something remarkable happens. Resistance softens. Curiosity opens. A woman leans in not because she is persuaded, but because she feels invited. The power of language in human connection is often underestimated, yet it holds the subtle force that can shift the way we are perceived and the way we experience intimacy. Words are not just conveyors of information, they are carriers of intention, emotion, and presence. When a man speaks from a place of authenticity, his words carry weight beyond their literal meaning. They resonate on an emotional level that taps into a woman's sense of being seen and understood. The right phrasing, the right tone, and the precise timing can create a magnetic pull that is hard to resist, not because it manipulates, but because it signals clarity and confidence. Language, when used thoughtfully, is like a bridge between two inner worlds. It allows a man to articulate not only what he thinks but also what he feels and what he desires, and in doing so, it invites a woman into a shared emotional space that feels both safe and charged with possibility. Most men underestimate the subtleties of how words function in this dance of attraction. They focus on what they want to communicate, often neglecting the impact that their words have on the listener's inner experience. A casual remark, a tone of curiosity, or a phrase that expresses genuine admiration can trigger a sense of recognition and openness that no physical gesture alone can achieve. The power of language also lies in its ability to express boundaries and certainty without aggression. When a man chooses his words carefully, he communicates his intentions clearly while simultaneously respecting the woman's autonomy. This is the paradox of effective language. It is both assertive and gentle, direct and nuanced, strong yet inviting. Women intuitively respond to this balance because it mirrors a sense of emotional intelligence and security. Language becomes a tool not to persuade or coerce, but to resonate. When spoken with presence, each sentence carries layers of meaning that go beyond the surface, signaling confidence, attentiveness, and emotional fluency. This is why some men find that a simple, honest statement delivered at the right moment can have an almost magnetic effect, while a rehearsed or insincere line, no matter how clever, falls flat. The difference is felt, not analyzed. It is the difference between speaking from a place of performance and speaking from a place of truth, and it is this truthfulness in language that forms the invisible current drawing two people into a shared space of connection. Authenticity is one of the most magnetic qualities a man can embody, yet it is often misunderstood as simply being yourself or acting without thought. True authenticity is deeper than surface behavior. It is the alignment between what a man feels, what he thinks, and what he expresses outwardly. Women are highly sensitive to this alignment, often perceiving inconsistencies even when the words themselves seem harmless. When a man speaks or acts from a place of grounded authenticity, it signals to a woman that he is emotionally coherent, that he has a sense of self that is secure and present. This presence creates a sense of trust and curiosity, because it shows that he is not hiding behind scripts, societal expectations, or attempts to impress. Authenticity is not about being flawless or always confident. It is about owning one's emotions and expressing them with honesty, even when vulnerability is involved. There is a magnetic quality in this kind of presence because it communicates both reliability and openness. A man who is authentic demonstrates that he knows who he is, what he wants, and what he values, and he communicates it without overcompensation or neediness. Women respond not just to the content of his words but to the energy behind them, the alignment of body, voice, and intention that conveys a coherent, grounded self. This coherence reduces friction in interaction because it eliminates the unspoken tension of hidden agendas. Moreover, authenticity allows for a different kind of intimacy to emerge, one that is rooted in recognition rather than persuasion. When a man is authentic, a woman can sense that he is not performing for her approval, nor is he attempting to manipulate her emotions. Instead, he is present, engaged, and genuinely interested in the shared experience of connection. This presence encourages a woman to lower her own defenses because it signals safety, reliability, and emotional clarity. Authenticity also creates an element of intrigue, because it stands out in a world where many interactions are performative. A man who is unafraid to show his real self, his thoughts, desires, and even imperfections, becomes compelling precisely because he is rare, grounded, and real. Women are drawn to this kind of energy not because it is loud or flamboyant, but because it feels trustworthy, magnetic, and alive. Authenticity is, in essence, a form of emotional honesty that communicates value without effort, and it becomes a force that quietly yet powerfully invites connection and desire. At the core of attraction lies a deeply human desire to feel chosen and recognized. Women, like men, respond not merely to attention or charm, but to the subtle assurance that they are being truly seen and valued for who they are. When a man expresses intentionality in his words or actions, it communicates a clarity of purpose that transcends superficial gestures. This is not about grand declarations or dramatic displays, it is about the quiet, consistent conviction that he has made a conscious choice to direct his attention, care, and energy toward her. Women instinctively pick up on this sense of selection, and it triggers a profound emotional response. Feeling chosen meets a psychological need for acknowledgement and validation. It reassures a woman that her presence, her uniqueness, and her emotional reality are recognized. Many men overlook this, assuming that attraction is built solely on charm, looks, or social dominance. Yet what resonates on a deeper level is the awareness that a man's interest is not casual or fleeting but deliberate and grounded. When intentionality is conveyed effectively, it communicates both respect and desire, respect for her autonomy and individuality, and desire for her presence and connection. This dual signal of being seen and simultaneously desired creates a powerful magnetic pull. It is fundamentally different from coercion or persuasion. It is the natural outcome of alignment between internal clarity and outward expression. Women respond not to ambiguity, but to decisiveness that is rooted in authenticity. There is a subtle but undeniable difference between a man who is reactive, waiting to see how she responds before committing attention, and a man who expresses choice with confidence, inviting her into an interaction without forcing it. The latter communicates that she matters in a way that feels both affirming and attractive. Furthermore, this sense of being chosen allows a woman to relax into her own presence, rather than remaining guarded or testing boundaries. It signals emotional safety because it demonstrates that the man's intentions are transparent, consistent, and conscious. Attraction thrives not in uncertainty or games, but in clarity and mutual recognition. When a man understands the power of expressing intentionality, he taps into an emotional truth that resonates deeply, quietly bypassing resistance and opening a space where connection, curiosity, and desire can flourish naturally. There is a delicate balance between vulnerability and strength that shapes the way women experience attraction, and it is often misunderstood by men as a contradiction. Vulnerability is not weakness, it is the willingness to expose one's inner reality, to show emotions, desires, and uncertainties without fear of judgment. Strength, on the other hand, is not dominance or control, it is the capacity to remain grounded, composed, and self-assured while embracing that vulnerability. When these two qualities coexist in a man, they create a magnetic presence because they signal emotional depth, authenticity, and resilience. Women intuitively sense when a man is willing to be open without losing himself in the process, and this willingness dissolves barriers that often keep intimacy at bay. The unspoken dance between vulnerability and strength allows a man to communicate truth in a way that feels safe and compelling. A simple admission of feeling, a quiet acknowledgement of desire, or the honest expression of curiosity can carry profound weight when delivered with emotional steadiness. Strength without vulnerability often comes across as rigid or performative, leaving interactions flat and uninviting, while vulnerability without strength can feel chaotic or overwhelming, creating discomfort rather than connection. The interplay between these qualities demonstrates that a man is capable of holding space for both his own emotions and hers, creating an environment where attraction can naturally flourish. Women respond not only to what is said, but to the emotional signal beneath the words, the rhythm of calm confidence paired with openness, the tone that conveys both presence and receptivity. This combination evokes trust because it mirrors the emotional balance that most people seek in relationships, someone who is genuine yet reliable, expressive yet anchored, sensitive yet composed. When a man masters this dynamic, he communicates more through presence than performance. Every glance, every pause, every carefully chosen word carries the energy of both honesty and poise. Vulnerability without shame, strength without aggression, creates a resonance that is both intimate and alluring. It allows a woman to engage emotionally without defensive posturing, sensing that the man before her is secure enough to embrace depth without fear. This unspoken interplay bypasses resistance because it communicates that connection is possible on a level that transcends superficial attraction, inviting curiosity, closeness, and desire in ways that strategies and manipulations cannot replicate. The essence of this dynamic is not learned from rules or scripts, but felt and embodied, and when a man moves with this balance, he becomes not only attractive but deeply magnetic. Attraction is often mistakenly thought of as a game of persuasion, strategy, or manipulation, but the truth is far simpler and far deeper. It is resonance. Women are drawn not to tactics, but to men whose presence, words, and energy naturally align with their own emotional reality. This is why attempts to force or manufacture attraction often fall flat, because the connection is not felt, it is imposed. True attraction emerges when a man communicates with honesty, emotional clarity, and relational awareness. It is not about clever lines, rehearsed routines, or performative gestures. It is about expressing who he is in a way that invites a woman to meet him where he stands. The core of this principle lies in the understanding that women respond to emotional truth more than external signals. When a man expresses his feelings, desires, and intentions transparently, without agenda or pressure, he creates a space where a woman can engage freely and authentically. This is a subtle yet profound shift. Attraction is no longer about impressing, convincing, or controlling. It becomes about resonating on a human level. Resonance is created through a combination of presence, awareness, and honesty. Presence allows a man to inhabit his body and emotions fully, giving his words and gestures weight and sincerity. Awareness ensures that he perceives and responds to the woman as a whole person, not as an object of desire or a puzzle to be solved. Honesty grounds the interaction, signaling that he is not hiding behind performance or pretense. Women sense this alignment intuitively, and it triggers interest and curiosity because it mirrors the emotional coherence they seek. It is important to recognize that this form of attraction does not manipulate or coerce, it simply allows connection to emerge naturally. When a man understands that attraction is resonance, he shifts his focus from trying to elicit a reaction to embodying a state of being that is authentic, emotionally fluent, and relationally aware. The magnetic effect comes not from tactics, but from the honesty and presence that signal trustworthiness, strength, and vulnerability all at once. A single genuine statement, a simple expression of desire or acknowledgement, can carry more power than any rehearsed line because it resonates with an inner truth. By embracing this understanding, men step into a form of attraction that is effortless yet compelling, one that honors both their own emotional reality and that of the woman, creating connection, curiosity, and intimacy without the need for manipulation or performance.